Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, now you have my attention.
As I was writing down my thoughts on Cultic, because more people should know about this gem, Jason dropped a bundle of TNT on the unsuspecting public. Chapter 2 is releasing September 18th, which was like in a couple of weeks. I was so excited, and so should be you. Retro FPS games are pretty hot these days. Dusk was a success. System Shock 2 Remaster reminded people of how good that game is. There's so many of them, but Cultic is so much better to me. Wanna know why? One reason: it never gets boring. Now I've been playing FPS games for decades now. It's games like Cultic that make me so happy for the gaming community and convinces me that this little hobby of ours is going to survive all the hardships it faces. A single person was able to create something so special it sets a new bar for the whole niche within a genre. Meanwhile, an entire gaming division of a huge corporation cannot decide on the fair pricing for the only good offering they have. If you haven't seen Civi's review of Cultic, then do it. Civi knows what's up. I'm not gonna regurgitate the same points he made. He's the FPS guy of YouTube and everyone should subscribe. Or get the puns app, repeatedly, and get kicked in the nuts. And if you don't like Civi, what is wrong with you? Stop it. Get some help. If you're still here, then this is what I gotta say about Cultic. It's the ultimate build-inspired game. There's such an overabundance of retro boomer shooters these days that standing out in those shoreless seas is really something. For all the right reasons. And what blows my mind into chunky pixels is the fact that this is a one-man's effort. Poor dude probably doesn't even have time to eat or sleep or mow the lawn. He makes Cultic all day long. In January 21, Jason quit his job to work on this game. The man is living his dream. It's just so goddamn cool. How does it feel to be a living legend, Jason? All hail Jason. I'm serious, start hailing, or else. I mean, the man put an FG42 in his game. He's a connoisseur, alright? You know a thing or two about dedication when your buddy's like, "Boss, can we die now?" And Jason's like, "Shut up, we haven't finished the shotgun spread patterns yet." Ah, so now he's getting some help. Good, that means we might get more from him. And he won't just wither away from exhaustion. It's as if the face control of Cultic Club was given the strict instruction of only letting the best ideas and mechanics in. And then those ideas were taken to the VIP section, where they procreated a little to make even better ideas. How about we scatter that bundle of dynamite? An oil lamp is also a Molotov, right? We have Molotovs? How about we duct tape it to that bundle of TNT? Oh my god, I feel like
I'm gonna bomb!
Overkill, the best kind of kill. Cool set pieces, check. A well-written drip-fed story, check. Awesome level design with tons of well-hidden secrets, very check. And the music puts some icing on this delicious cake. Also produced by Jason himself, by the way. If I were a woman, I'd line up to have his progeny. With Jason's work ethics, that kid would be born with some bonus content and patch notes stapled to his forehead. In other words, shut up and take my money. Just the hatchet mechanics alone are deeper than some other game's entire shtick. What's also so sick about Cultic is that even though its inspirations are obvious, none of them are used as in-your-face lazy references that become old the second time you encounter them. And what's even more diseased is that it surpasses all of its predecessors, and the difficulty varies from a power fantasy to one misstep and you're reloading a quick save deal. Who loves save scumming? We love save scumming. But seriously, they rob you of fun. Discovering that you haven't saved for like half an hour after dying should be celebrated. It means you are having fun. Or you are sweating bullets, which is also a type of fun. Guess how many times that happened to me in Cultic? A lot. It's not a number, but I don't care. Maybe that's why quick saving gets disabled at certain points. Some might argue that releasing a game piecemeal and selling each chapter separately is unfair. But some can also f*** off. I'm 110% on board supporting a solo developer who wipes the floor with some AAA studios and the slop they come up with after 6 years of promising something life-changing. Forget all you know about visual diarrhea. And Mr. Smith even does the unthinkable and makes you choose carefully which weapons to upgrade. Because there's no way you're upgrading your entire arsenal. If you're not pathetic and search for the secrets yourself and do it very thoroughly, fat chance of finding all of them. If you did, then hats off to you, you mythical creature. But yeah, choose wisely. See, BioWare? It's that easy to make your choices matter. Jason also released a free interlude DLC that slaps so hard the cheeks are torn clean off. It's a huge map of a police precinct in a big city that feels almost like it came straight from Resident Evil 2. Yeah, that good. Expect some backtracking, but in the best way possible. It's from a different character's perspective, so there will be new weapons, new enemies, and a new boss in the end. And the set pieces are even more refined. The scripted events are gorgeously intricate. Holy shit, can you even imagine what Chapter 2 will be like? Oh baby, that's right, get hyped! And now? You don't have to imagine. It's here. And it's so good. Yeah, the boss of the first chapter felt like it was simplistic and tacky, but whatever, you wanna fight another icon of sin? I know you don't. Please give me a good example of a legendary FPS boss that feels great besides Doom Eternals and Dark Ages mini-bosses. Yeah, they're all kinda lame, either static or slow bullet sponges or some gimmicky combat puzzle that I cannot put enough quotation marks around those two words. I guess we're yet to see something truly epic. Unless the game mechanics are unique like in Doom Eternal, it's hard to make a memorable and replayable boss fight for an FPS. 2016 Doom Spider Mastermind was a joke. The boss of Ancient Gods 2 isn't very replayable or fun, to be honest. Now, Ancient Gods 1 was a trip, and I think I might have PTSD from it. So, you know, it feels like something unattainable. Come to think of it, I'm not sure I know a single boss in any FPS game that I love the way I love, say, Maria or Artorias or hell even the Hive Tyrant. Maybe it's an FPS curse. I believe there's a guy or a gal out there who will make me eat my own words. Just bring some teriyaki along, I'm down. Well, Chapter 2 kinda tries to serve both preferences at the same time. At the end of an amazingly sprawling final level of the chapter, there's a boss fight in the traditional retro FPS sense, and then another one that is more reminiscent of the current trends. But I digress. Forget the boss, it's such a minor thing when compared to the game as a whole, and it takes you places. It gives you tasteful pop culture references. And the fights themselves can make John Woo envious. It's all up to you. Either play it safe and boring, or you could make John Wick proud. Why are they all Johns? Now I wanna be named John too. Okay, now I don't. Lighting the darkness with your Zippo prohibits the use of two-handed weapons, and adds to the tension. The trick of capturing you and taking away all your guns and gear somehow doesn't feel overused, even though it happens in both chapters. But in line with constantly one-upping himself, Jason managed to put a spin on that trope too. I hope it's the same rookie from that police precinct that helps our detective, and we get to play as him again. The chief of New Grandwell Police Department does not in fact take your badge and gun and throw them in your face. Wait, is that also a cliche? Okay, whatever. But before you can even take your first step into the asylum where your investigation leads you to, you're ambushed and unceremoniously dropped into a pile of bodies by someone who was stupid enough not to check for your vital signs. Or did they? Foreshadowing. It's time to pay for that mistake though. We can't keep Caitlin Sullivan's wandering parents guessing. Let's turn them into Caitlin Sullivan's grieving parents. And just like the worst of them cults, this one here has some twisted merit behind it. They can control people, well, duh. They can create beings, ridiculous beings. They animate spooky, scary skeletons. Skeletons in video games are wild, always perfectly intact, walking around with swords. My skeleton? He's struggling with back pain and bad posture. And of course, the cultists kill people. Lots of people. All in an effort to please the will they all serve. Yeah, people really like serving all kinds of abominations. And creating ones. Yeah, that checks out. Prior investigators turn up dead in a desperate effort to blow the lid off the cult. But those guys mean business. They came up with a whole scheme for their ranks to be admitted to the asylum only to get enough bodies in to instigate a riot. To what end? My only gripe with the story is that the abomination is a letdown. It's being built up via reading, so my expectations were raised pretty high. And I've been spoiled by amazing bosses that Mr. Miyazaki is so good at, but maybe it's just me. As all heretics are, it's weak to fire. That's a nice touch. The Inquisition approves. The interlude is just wonderful. We're like Key and Peele in the first season of Fargo, stuck in the archive. But we're not serving a punishment for being terrible at our job. We're the Rookie, another protagonist with no name. We're about to have a Jake Hoyt-approved training day. The cult is bold enough not only to take an officer off the case, but to attack a whole city police station by the means of masked assailants and corrupted cops. These ones are also more clever. They try to outmaneuver you, but thankfully you have new unique weapons to deal with them. A trusty nightstick, a Smith & Wesson Model 19, and a sawn-off Browning Auto 5. Yes, it's a real thing. And amazingly they made it to the second chapter. I loved them both, although the Auto 5 makes the sawn-off redundant. Maybe in chapter 3 we'll have a whole shotgun evolution deal, from a double barrel to the pump action to the semi-auto, and then a totally out of place AA-12 shows up. Nah, too anachronistic. But I gotta admit, the idea is very arousing. And of course those cultists are into some eldritch shit here. Things can only get better. Jason is cooking. In his own words, it's a play-as-you-please game, and you're given quite a toolbox. It's too bad it doesn't really apply to the final boss of the new chapter. Your weapons of choice may come a little short, but besides that, chapter 2 improves on everything. There are new enemies, new levels are huge, it's spooky and makes you look around. The attention to detail is as insane as ever. I'm the crazy person who actually finished the pool game. There are actually different sounds for different doors and grates that won't open. A lazy person would be like, nah, this one's good enough. But not James, no. The boomer shooter feel needs to be authentic. Your slides and dodges are limited because they are essential. You deplete and recharge them, because spamming those slides is way too effective. As soon as you discover them, you turn into a penguin. However, even those cannot save you from the gauntlet you'll be facing towards the middle of chapter 2. That one made me employ tactics I don't enjoy in FPS games. I tried doing it in style for an hour, but alas, to no avail. That's how my neighbor's wife must have felt when she was trying to parallel park. After trying for 60 minutes, she gave up, prayed, and just walked home. Maybe it's a skill issue, but I've played through every Doom game on ultraviolence and usually play on hard in FPS games. The whole game you feel like John Wick, and there you feel like a trapped bobcat. It's a minor thing, but with all of those nice looking voxels Jason uses in his game, makes me wish he'd make item and enemy models using voxels too. I mean, voxel Doom looks so good. Well, at least in my opinion, it feels like it was meant to be this way from the ground up. If only there was enough processing power in those 486s, you know? And seeing that final boss in 3D immediately convinced me that a full voxel overhaul is now a thing I'll be dreaming of. The AI is perfect for a boomer shooter in my opinion. These monsters are scary enough as it is. I'd start calling for mommy if instead of beelining my way they'd start bobbing and weaving. Now I don't know about you guys, but in shooters whenever I see something like this, I shoot first. With Cultic, I'm kind of reluctant to. What if it's exactly what Jason wants me to do? So he can chuckle himself to sleep. So where are these circles around all the mannequins? Oh, am I getting chapter 1 flashbacks? Is it foreshadowing what I think it's foreshadowing? Oh, of course. Hey old friend, okay, we're not friends. I see you got yourself some friends I'm not gonna get along with. I got just the thing to fix it. Double up box solves everything. Oh wait, it's a slug. Can we get one of those in chapter 3, Jason? Please? They might be even stronger against the final boss. That dude made me invest into full auto for FG42. Because he's kinda tough and took me a bunch of tries. Why yes, this is a mare's leg. And by god did I miss it. I feel like I'm in Dawn of the Dead now. Yay! All those other boomer shooter references are such a nice touch. And Frog Monster is actually amazing and it deserves way more recognition. Oh, and you can shoot while you're on ladders, but you can reload. It's those nice touches like that, man. They make Cultic so damn special. Jason's been honing his craft. You can see it right away. Even though certain aspects give off heavy Resident Evil 8 vibes, it doesn't become annoying. I'd wager that the better aspects serve as inspiration. Although the reasoning behind our miraculous escapes is a convenient excuse, at the same time we're not making an indie art film here. It's an indie video game, and it's really good at what it does. So apart from the plot armor and certain cliches done right, oh god, are those clowns? God damn it, Jason, man do they freak me out. So, as I was saying, apart from those tropes, another one made it here too. Dodge dashing. The readable sequences of attacks, Doom Eternal style, and... Is this a bad thing? Well, no, not really, at least for me. Does it make me wish for something more creative and different? Well, maybe. I was totally fine with the boss of the interlude. It's what we come to expect from a boomer shooter. But I don't see it as a problem. The whole thing is meant to be a nostalgic blast from the past. By the way, letting us see the aftermath of that boss fight is such a cool move. Chef's kiss. I don't want to dissect the whole thing here. There are other channels on YouTube for that. I want you to set whatever prejudice you have aside and just give it a try. No amount of praise and footage can convey the feel of this game. It's an FPS done majestically right. It makes it seem easy, even though in fact it's quite the opposite. So I hope I've made a solid point here that Cultic sits right there on top of the boomer shooter mountain, and it was a solo effort. And it's only $10 per chapter, exactly as much as Silksong. These two games will cost you less than any AAA title, and the enjoyment they'll bring is incomparable. It's that magic that slipped away from most of those $100 million productions. Here it's free to breathe and inspire hope and admiration. Do yourself a favor and play Cultic, and also play Silksong, obviously. Or don't, and then you'll have to explain to your kids in 20 years why you missed the boomer shooter renaissance. They'll be like, "Dad, you skipped Cultic?" That's worse than skipping your child support.